and welcome to The Black Unconscious,
a mental health podcast about living, coping, and thriving while Black.
I'm Raquel Martin, a PhD candidate in medical and clinical psychology.
And I'm Dr. Justin Hopkins, a licensed clinical psychologist.
This podcast is not meant to be a substitute for a therapeutic relationship with a licensed therapist.
Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome to The Black Unconscious. We are your hosts. I'm Raquel Martin.
And I am Dr. Justin Hopkins.
And today we're going to be doing a pretty lax episode. We got a bunch of good suggestions, and we're probably going to put them into next season. But this is the last episode of this season, and then we're going to take a 2-week break. 2 to 3 weeks maybe, and then come back with some new stuff for you.
That's right. And so we had a bunch of suggestions. A lot of you all asked us some pretty interesting questions and raised some really interesting topics, some of which were pretty complex. And after Raquel and I spoke for a bit, we were like, you know what, like some of these things we could probably do a whole episode on. So today we're gonna just have it way more lax. We have these like really like intense intellectual and educational conversations. So today we're gonna take it easy.
Yeah, given the current climate, I just want to joke about stuff.
I think that's necessary. Yeah, it's also not lost on me that today is the day of we're recording on the day when the Brett Kavanaugh hearing is going on. It's been a very heavy day for a lot of victims and survivors, and also for mental health professionals who work with them. Myself included, perhaps you as well, Raquel. So today we're gonna shift a little bit to do some self-care for ourselves, and perhaps even some self-care for you all, and just kind of shoot the breeze about some things that we enjoy talking about. And
so we're gonna talk about sitcoms. We're going to entitle this episode Blackity Blackness. No, we're not. But so we're going to talk about like Atlanta Insecure. But I also want to talk about like the best shows ever. So my you got to do a top 5 too.
What?
So my top 5 Black shows are, and I feel like they're everybody's top 5, first of all. So I'm going to go old school first. It's not even that old school, but Living Single. Oh my God.
Is that your number one?
That is my number 1, really? Because I love Erica Alexander. I love Max.
You embody her to some degree. She's
from Philly. She went to the same high school as my mom. Y'all think that's acting.
Oh,
that's just her. Like
that's just her being herself.
Yeah, so, but yeah, love that. Living Single. Martin, of course.
Martin's up there.
So I guess it's a top 6. Girlfriends, of course. Different World. And then I'm Atlanta and Insecure. And I do like Blackish, but like it doesn't really...
I really like Blackish a lot.
So what's your top 5?
Ooh, Can I do no particular order first? It's going to be so much harder to organize them.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
But you do have to do your number 1. The rest don't matter.
Okay. Insecure.
Number 1?
It's not number 1.
I said you did have to do a number 1.
I'll do the number 1 after I name the 5.
No, that doesn't even make any sense. 1 comes first. Hence the number.
I don't want to do the.
Just do number 1.
I'm gonna name my 5.
Just do number 1. Just do number 1. What's the number 1, and then do the rest.
My 5 are Insecure.
Okay.
Martin, Atlanta. I really, really, really enjoyed Living Single. I really did. Although I don't really remember many of the episodes.
So you did enjoy it?
It's more a nostalgic thing when I like review.
Yeah, so you're not a true fan. I don't even think you should be able to put them on your list.
So that's 4. What is my 5th? Geez, it used to be The Cosby Show.
It's not The Cosby Show anymore?
I mean, it's kind of tainted, right?
The world is tainted, man.
That is true.
That's like me saying I don't like Martin because he used to stalk or have issues with Tisha Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he did. That's
and his
right.
wife. And I still love that show. Even though those last seasons, none of y'all fooled any of us. The last seasons were terrible.
They were terrible.
How freaking dare you?
What is it, after like season 5?
Yeah, I think she had like some kind of restraining order, and they were never in the same scene together because I don't think they could record together.
That's right.
They're having like a long distance relationship, and it was like it was crap.
Yeah.
I still watch them though.
Right. So I actually grew up on the Cosby Show, but and so the Huxtables, like being the first like Black couple, Black family, on the big screen that represented like that level of honorable mentions, the Jeffersons.
Never seen the Jeffersons.
Really? All right. So, but yeah, like those, like the Jeffersons, the Cosby Show, like they were the first ones to really represent the Black family in a way that was really, really positive and wasn't like this very stereotypical, destitute, struggling family dynamic, you know? And so I grew up on that, and my family did as well. And so it really does suck to find out that this man, like the main character, was obviously a terrible person for much of that time while he was shooting the show. But the show
but I don't
itself,
I don't want to go there. I just want to talk about TV, man. I just want to talk about TV. I really just
but the show itself
TV.
was really good.
So I actually didn't watch the Cosby Show when I was younger. I watched it when I was older and I liked it. But we didn't really, like growing up, so I'm from North Philly. So growing up, we had there was one TV and it was in the living room. I think my great grandma's TV had a TV in her room, but we weren't allowed in her room, so I don't remember. There was one TV, floor model TV. You watched what the majority wanted to watch, which were the adults. So we never really watched TV like that. We were outside a lot because it was us and our cousins. And then even when we moved to a different place and we had I think we got our first TV in our room with me and my sister when we shared a room was I don't know, 8th grade or something like that, or 7th grade. So we never really watched TV. So I'm behind on most shows.
You mean some of the older shows?
Older shows. I saw Family Matters, but we watched that on Friday nights.
Wow, Family Matters. Honorable mention.
My mom loved
this is why
Stefan Urkel. She would scream when this man came on. So that one. What about Fresh Prince? Did you watch Fresh Prince?
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so Fresh Prince might replace Living Single.
Yeah, that's because you're not a real fan, is what I'm saying.
I really enjoyed that show. I just don't remember a lot about it.
Because you didn't enjoy it. Because I can ask you about Insecure in Atlanta, and you can say every single aspect of it.
That's because I watched it yesterday. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure I watched Living Single last time was a week ago. It's on Hulu.
See?
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, I got Netflix. Let's get into
You don't have Netflix and Hulu?
Just Netflix.
Aren't you a real doctor? You make real money.
I haven't gotten around to downloading Hulu for some reson.
Yeah, I'm just loving
Netflix.
that Fire Stick I got though. So
yeah. Jailbroken, illegal.
Of course.
Feds listening.
Oh no.
And Raquel falls silent for the first time ever.
Oh fuck! You know what, man?
But let's get into Insecure. We really wanted to.
My mom listens to this, man.
Yeah, you gotta have a stern talking to, I imagine.
Yeah, you laughing. My mom is no joke, dude. I'm over here scratching my head and everything. I am nervous, but yeah.
I recently, having recently met your husband. And and I know that your mom is very much like you. So
we're the same person. Yep. You heard how he said he's man, picture her, but times.
Yeah. It's Raquel on steroids.
Yeah, that's what he said. Raquel on steroids.
Raquel
so it's
right.
He's I just leave, man. I just sit there, be quiet.
When they
We're the same person.
But let's get into Insecure. Let's get into. We really wanted to get into the series and also the recent season. I haven't
seen. Well, neither one of us have seen the last episode.
Right. So the last episode that is aired for both of us is Obsessed Like. Where Issa is.
There are going to be spoilers, so if you want to tune out, and we'll put that there's going to be spoiler alerts in the bio, so nobody's bamboozled.
Sure, and I believe that's what is that, episode 6? 5 or 6? The
season's never long enough, so I have no idea.
It's never long enough. I feel like I could watch the show forever and ever and ever. But I really, really liked the last episode, Obsessed Like, because it.
Wait, which one was Obsessed Like?
It's when what is his name? Nathan has ghosted.
Oh, Nathan... I haven't. Oh, okay, yeah, Obsessed Like. Okay, that's the baby shower. I thought you were about to describe Wait, no, I haven't seen Obsessed Like.
You haven't seen Obsessed Like?
No. You said you didn't see the last episode.
That's not the last episode.
That is the last episode.
Then I've seen the last episode.
Yeah, mofo. Don't talk about the episode.
Okay.
Oh my god.
So you want to go back to the
last one I saw was the baby shower.
So, well, let me just say about that episode, it does depict Issa's internal thoughts, and I really, really like how they do that because I think everyone deals with that.
Okay.
So we can go back to the baby shower though. We can go back to the baby shower because I think there's some really interesting dynamics that are going on in that episode as well. You have so Issa, obviously the main character of the show, like she's kind of caught in between. She and Molly are really caught in between this throwdown between Amanda Seal's character and
I love how like different her character is
and
than
Kelly.
Her.
Yeah,
it really shows her range, like for real. Like
yeah,
she's amazing.
Amanda Seal's character and Kelly. So Tiffany and Kelly are kind of they're like best friends, and then Issa and Molly are best friends, and then then they make a group. And so Kelly's at this baby shower. This is the episode Ready Like. It's episode 6 actually. Obsessed Like is episode 7. And in that episode, Issa's trying to get some moral support for her own new project, but also she and Molly are kind of stuck in the middle of Kelly and Tiffany kind of breaking apart because Tiffany's moving in a very different direction in her life. She's married. She is having a baby, and Kelly is single. And so Kelly's kind of like mourning the loss of her best friend, and it's really, really hard. I think we all go through those times in adulthood when your friends make different life choices or different things happen, and then there's some mourning of like them going in different directions from you. And
not me. All my friends have kids.
Really?
Children. Yeah. And you know, once they get a sitter, they go hard. Like we went to Toronto. Like I haven't noticed any. I mean, yeah, they take care of their child, and sometimes it's crazy to watch them like be a parent. It's like, man, I used to do shots with you. We used to be like drunk in class, and now you got somebody and you're trying to tell them like how to act and behave. But like none of my friends have changed like that. Or maybe it's that like we're all growing together, and I'm one of those friends who understands the aspect of change. So I get that like that's different, but I'm willing to rock with it because like I love you, and that's what I want. Yeah, all my friends have children.
I feel like you're really fortunate in that way, but also right, like maybe you know, I mean, also being a mental health professional, you kind of like know like developmentally how people change and yada yada yada. That maybe that helps.
Do any of your friends have children?
Yeah. Some of my friends have children, and
any changes?
It does change. Your priorities become different. You're not as free, right? You're not as available. You're when you're either at work or you're with your children, you're with your family. You're trying to build a life for the child and for your partner. And especially if you and the partner are still together, like that person becomes your world along with the child. So it's harder. It becomes more challenging to have fun with that person or to hang out with that person because they have to be there for their family, and that comes first. Even though as much as you may want to hang out with that person or as cool as you all are, you kind of know that things are going to change. And I think Kelly in that episode does know. She knows things are going to change.
It depends on how you hang out too. Like, because we take the babies with us everywhere. But it's like, okay, so what you trying to go to the club? We ain't going to the club. Okay. The library is having a nice reading day. Okay. We're going to go to that. We're going to have a nice meal. And then we're going to go home and watch some trash TV while she goes to bed. Like that's, you know, like, but it's like, I'm not really in the spot to really want to go to clubs anyway. I don't know half the songs. Like people, you can still do fun. I think you got to be more open to it. Kelly she thinks it's the end. Like it is the end.
Yeah, I mean, for some people, it can be. Like, Kelly's life is really different from Tiffany's. You know, it is. Like, her life, she is still looking for a partner. Tiffany is very settled. And you also see, like, the other thing I like about that episode is that you see Tiffany has other friends that are really type A and really organized and have their lives together.
But those are listen, that's like a prego posse. Those are like the backups. Those are not her friends. Kelly and Issa and Molly are friends. She had to make do, you know. And weren't they all pregnant too? Like,
I don't know. I don't remember that.
I feel like she's just being jealous for no reason. There's some stuff that you're not going to get. Like my friends, there's this mommy group on Facebook. I can't be in that group. They be talking about stuff happening in the group, and it's like, oh no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not allowed in that group because I'm not a mom. Mm-hmm. But if you want to talk about something else, I'm there. I feel like she's being unrealistic. I think that's just so unrealistic.
Kelly?
Yeah, I feel like it's just immature.
Really? I think it's reasonable for her to like mourn her friends like moving on to a different life stage.
Yeah, you can mourn it, but then where you messed up is that like you are being a bad friend. She's being a bad friend.
What do you think Kelly should have done in that particular situation?
I don't know. Maybe use her words and talk about it. Like, because they were ghosting her
and
too,
probably
right? They
not,
made a whole group text without her. They made a whole group text without her, man. That's messed up.
They did.
That's messed up. So they still talk to her.
Is it messed up though? I mean, they want to have a kind of fun that Tiffany doesn't want to have.
Okay, so that part, okay, I get that. That's not messed up. But didn't they like stop replying to her for some things at some point? Like, you can't have it both ways. Like, so true. Like the fact that they didn't even offer to throw her a baby shower, that's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. Like, that's crazy.
Well, I think right, I think there were two parts to that, right? There was that Tiffany was kind of waiting for one of them to volunteer,
which they should have.
One could argue that. And
no, don't go to the next part yet. You think that they shouldn't have? No, so one of them shouldn't have offered to throw the baby shower.
So
have you ever been to a baby shower?
I have been to a baby shower.
Okay.
Only my nephews, actually.
Yeah, who planned that?
Not me.
No, well, like it was his one of his wife's best friends probably, or the mom or something like that.
I mean, traditionally, right? Like it is the mother, soon to be mother's best friend, right?
Or and so it's just her side. I don't think, but friends should offer.
I think it's a nice gesture, right? Like it's a nice gesture if friends offer. Like traditionally, that's what friends do. But then there was also some insecurity on Issa, Molly, and Kelly's part because they were both like, our lives are really, really chaotic right now. And Tiffany actually said to them, it's like, I'm having a baby. Like I'm having a child. Like this is like really, really important. My life is going to change. Like I was looking for you all to like throw this for me and like to be a part of this. But she also, I think there was also like some sense that if they had offered, she would have turned them down. And if I recall correctly, she's just like, yeah, I would have because y'all wouldn't have been able to do it.
She should have offered. They should have offered. They're all wrong in my opinion.
So how so? Speak to it.
They should have offered. You don't do that. Yes, your friend is leaving, but y'all can have like not even leaving. Like, oh my gosh, she's not going nowhere. You don't know how much you're gonna love the baby. Like, it's just a little dramatic. Okay, like, oh, we're going through so much stuff. Really? Are you creating a person? Because I am. So, like, how about support? Pregnancy is one of those. From what I've seen, my friends are amazing, but like that shit was rough. Okay, like they had to deal with a lot of stuff. Yeah. They got to deal with a lot of stressors. They over here stressed out, and they still all like worked the entire time. Like, you want to just be there and support.
Right. I mean, right. Like you want your friends, your best friends to be there for you, especially when you're going through those kind of situations. And I can't fault Tiffany for that at all. I can also imagine that it's hard for someone like Issa to be there for Tiffany when, one, they're not best friends. Like, maybe you could say that about Kelly, right?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm solely talking about Kelly.
Yeah, because Kelly kind of has her life together. And she also feels like very comfortable. Well, it seems like she's very comfortable with the space that she's in her life. Although she has like her very like humorous and hilarious moments, she seems pretty fine like where she is. But Issa is more of, she's going through a lot of different changes, right? She was living with Daniel. She was living on his couch. She got her own place. She quit her job. She's trying to start, in this episode, you see how she is trying to, she's trying to gain a little bit of moral support, and she's needing a little bit moral support for this new project that she's taking on, this community event that she's trying to throw. She's really trying to step out of her shell and like live up to like and try to actualize some of her own passions. And so she's going through a huge life transition herself. I mean, I don't like getting into these kind of like debates because it does feel like the struggle Olympics a little bit. Well, I'm having a baby. Well, I'm like homeless and I'm trying to like figure out my life. You know what I mean? Like both are valid, right? Issa probably could have used a little bit more support from others, and I think Tiffany could have used some more support from her best friends. You know what?
And I would take that from you if this was like a psych talk, but this is not. So you need to pick a side.
Do I?
Yeah, pick a side.
I feel like we're doing some. I'm gonna get more psychological.
Please don't. Oh my gosh, I don't want to use like my brain. I use it all day.
I'm going to say it.
I have patience. I teach. I'm writing dissertation, research. I don't want to use my brain.
Are we going to be black and white with this?
Oh my God. No one even knows what you're referring to.
All or none thinking.
All right, great.
It is
so
or it
you're
isn't.
not picking a side?
I empathize a lot with Issa.
Okay. In my opinion, Issa, Molly, and Kelly are wrong.
But also Tiffany has support. She has her pregnancy posse.
They don't count. They throw
the shower.
I don't know how male friendships are. Female friendships are different. All right. Those are your best friends. You offer to throw the baby shower. If you're struggling with it, you're struggling with it.
Well, Kelly's the best friend.
But they're a group. So Kelly should have offered and they should have backed them up.
Yeah. I think it's funny. Well, obviously the show is called Insecure, and you see Issa and Molly wrapped up in some of their own insecurities and things that they're going through. So also in this episode,
you talk about Dre. You can talk about, what is his name, Dre?
Yes, Dre.
Do you think he has an open marriage?
Ooh, we don't ever really get confirmation about that.
So I remember him saying
we only hear his side. Do we ever hear his wife's side?
We don't hear his wife's side. And I remember one time he was in bed, like at her place or something like that, and she called and he was like, "No, I'm still at Molly's." But that could have been anything because they're friends anyway. I feel like if they do have an open marriage, there are rules, and I'm sure the rule is that you cannot, like, friends are not a thing.
How you hypothesize there is a rule and then make up the rule?
Because if I had an open marriage, which I wouldn't, if I had an open marriage, there would be rules. Like, all right, okay, this is not like a relationship thing. This is like okay, I'll let you bone other people thing. So no friends, and definitely nobody that you've known longer than me. He's known Molly no longer than he's known his wife.
Yeah.
They go to each other's cookouts.
I feel like we're gonna find out more about that, and there might be something shocking like that.
But you think they have open marriage, like, for real?
I don't know.
You don't even have an opinion on that.
I do think. That's my genuine opinion is I don't know. Here's the thing that I think does frustrate me about Molly and Dre's relationship. It's not clear to me that that's what Molly wants. It's really not. And I think it's Molly,
not what she wants. No woman wants that.
And Molly, you don't think any woman wants
Yes, I know. I don't want to generalize. Okay, so let's just state that no, it's not what Molly wants.
Okay, fine. It's not what Molly wants. I don't think it's what Molly wants. And when she goes to therapy, I wish they would show more about Molly in therapy, because I feel like that is a struggle that a lot of people go through, and particularly in I want to know why you're laughing in a second. And particularly in heterosexual relationships where men have a lot of power, and
when women allow
I feel like
men have the power when women allow it.
I think there's some truth to that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a common narrative where you hear black women who have all of these amazing things going for them. Mm-hmm. Molly is an attorney. She is she's a good friend to her friends. Baby shower notwithstanding, she was
awful.
She's an attractive woman. She has she's financially stable. She's ambitious. She's funny. She has all of these things going for her. And then, and even in this new episode, Obsessed, you'll see, she's able to kind of reason with Issa. No spoilers. No, that's not a spoiler.
I don't know. I just don't mention it at all.
Okay. No more episode 7. But, she has a good head on her shoulders. And she's a decent person, right? She's a good person. And, but her love life is
well, and we can't even get too deep into it because the next season, the first episode is about relationships. And, if we go into it, we're going to go into it.
Okay. But she does end up, I feel it seems like she ends up sacrificing and unboxing herself into taking whatever she can get.
Yes. Oh my God.
And I feel really sad for her. And then Dre is apathetic as hell at that baby. She's just oh, you don't want to do whatever I want on my terms whenever I want you to? Forget you. You ain't nothing to me.
Imagine that. Imagine a man reacting that way. It's crazy.
The sarcasm is
almost like a child when his toy is taken or he's given rules or standards.
Deafening.
It's crazy. No, I was laughing because I was remembering the scene where she was talking to her psychologist or whoever. And then she let it slip. She said like Dro's name. And she said, and the chick said, "Who is?"
I keep calling him Dre. It's Dro.
Dro, yeah, I said Dre too. I think I was thinking Power. And she said, "Who is Dro?" So I paused it and I was like, "Y'all don't tell y'all clinicians nothing." She's been seeing, let's say she's been seeing her weekly or even bi-weekly. Let's say like this is time passing. You don't think it's relevant to tell your psychologist that while you are coming there to like work on yourself and deal with things and get self-awareness and have the emergence of your best self, that you are sleeping with a married man? You don't think that's relevant in your journey to like self-actualization with your clinician? It just made me laugh because I'm like, y'all not telling y'all clinicians everything, and yet you want us to help you. How am I going to help you? Like, because it could be, it's not even like help you in terms of like, you telling her so she can help you get over this married man. Right. It could be you telling her so she could be like, okay, if that's what you want to do, how do we get to the point where you get more comfortable being not fully in this relationship? Ain't nobody gonna judge you, but like I don't know what I don't know. And and the only reason why she found out is because she let it slip. Right. She said, yeah, because something Dro. She said, yeah. Who is Dro?
Right. It doesn't like the scene cut after that.
It does. Yeah. I just, man, when people aren't like telling their clinicians everything, I'd be like.
Well, Molly has a lot of resistance to therapy. And in season 2.
Yeah, and the black woman thing. I think one time she was like, she said something about her being a black woman. All in my business.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And in season 2, like towards the end of that season, Issa confronts Molly about some of the things that she witnesses in her life, trying to be a good friend, I think, seeing Molly struggling and seeing some things that she's really conflicted about. And Molly takes a lot of offense to that Issa looks at some of the things that Molly's dealing with and encourages her to go to therapy. Molly really takes offense to that. And it's not until Molly runs into a mutual friend of theirs back in the day from like high school or something like that. I don't know, maybe even undergrad. And someone who they thought was always just like barely keeping it together or really kind of struggling in their own personal life. It's not until she runs into that person and sees how well they're doing because of therapy, and that person disclosed, like, I went to therapy, it really changed my life.
I don't remember this part at all.
Yeah, it's not until that happened that Molly's like, oh, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe Issa's looking out for me. Maybe there's something I could gain from being with someone in therapy. And every single time Molly is in therapy, you get a little, just like a hint more of what's going on with her, or she says a little bit more to her therapist. But it always feels like to me that there's so much going on with Molly that she doesn't actually bring up. Even in those short scenes, she's very vague, and I think the show is actually accurately representing that. She hasn't been in therapy that long, I don't think, within the context of the show, and it takes time to really open up and to think about the things that are actually relevant to bring to your therapist. But I don't think her admission about Dro is completely innocent either.
Yeah, and then it's also like there's time to get comfortable. Therapy's only 1 hour a week. I think going through my own therapy, there was nothing more enlightening than thinking like, if there's no like filler questions, like if the psychologist didn't ask me certain questions, I might forget to talk about certain things because you only get an hour. And sometimes you just get in there and you're like, I want to talk about this one thing and I'm going to brain dump. And then like, like getting on the other end, like, because there's anxiety on the other end. Like, what do I talk about? Right. Oh, I probably should have talked about this. And then as soon as you leave, it's like, oh man, I probably should have told her that my medication's not working anymore. Or like something crazy like that. Like I get those doorknob statements. Yeah. And like for anyone who's not in psychology, the doorknob statements are like right before you turn the doorknob to leave, you tell your clinician some crazy stuff, like you drop bombs. And it happens all the time, especially working with kids. Like I'll work with someone and then be like, everything's good. And then the doorknob statement is, I think I'm having suicidal ideation. It's like, well, sit down. We have to, like, what do you mean? I was like, we've been sitting here talking about darn Fortnite this whole time. And you over like, it's just, it's the doorknob statement. So yeah, I don't think she's being totally innocent, but like you're right. I do get the fact that like therapy is overwhelming in itself and it takes time and it's not supposed to be a quick process anyway. And we're seeing her at the beginning of it, right? Yeah.
So. I think she's still very much in the beginning of her relationship with her therapist. And also what I mean by like not innocent is that not like she has some like maniacal plan to like sabotage her therapy, because it's only going to hurt herself, right? But I just think it really does, like, resistance is a thing. We all know that change is painful, like whether we're aware of that or not. And so we don't want to experience pain, but we don't also don't want to like stay where we are. So there's this like tug of war about how much you're willing to open and how deep you are getting into the work, knowing that you'd like the change, but the change is going to be hard and painful. So you kind of like, you end up in between that. I mean, Molly also has her family, right? She came from this very intact family and then discovered that her father had some infidelity. This is going back to season 2. And her mom stayed, and that was really like that was really confusing for her. And that really I think that played a role in her decision to date Dro as well.
She boned him that night. That was the
Right.
night.
Yeah.
He was like, well,
Right.
if everyone's doing it, like, you know, well, and I don't think she had like a, with the character, it's like it's everyone's doing it thing. I think it's like her bedrock was shaken.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's traumatic to discover like your parents, like your people, like your model for love and relationship, that there are some things that were held secret, some really painful things. Like that is
that's
really
lot.
traumatic. So I think she's really rethinking what kind of relationship she wants and like what she wants to pursue for herself in her own life.
Yeah, and I think relationship wise, a lot of people make big relationship decisions or big decisions with people they shouldn't be like talking to or something like that after something bad happens. Like, man, I just got fired. Well, I mean, I'm gonna just call them. Like, you know, like it's just because something has shaken you so much that you just like, man, I just need something positive. Like, I just need somebody to gas me up. And I feel like that's what happened with her. Like that, because she was standing firm for a little minute. Like, no, I ain't doing that. But then that happened, and she's like, well, all right, this is what we're doing here. Right. But I don't want to just go into her. Cause
yeah. Because there's a lot we could say about her.
I mean, this is clearly an insecure episode. I specifically, you bamboozled me. I specifically said I wanted to talk about other shows, but yes, insecure. I do like how this season they're doing more like character development. Like everyone's saying how slow it goes. But I think it's because she's really taking the time to expand upon the characters. Yeah, I would also like it if there were like at least 10 more episodes per season in addition to 20 extra minutes per episode, but whatever.
I feel like maybe we should like ask for 20 and maybe we'll land at like 5 or 10.
I think she constantly gets these requests and she is like, y'all black people, you will get what you get.
Yo, how many episodes are left? There's like 2 maybe?
I think it's 2.
Jeez, man, I'm gonna miss the show when it's off off the air.
What do you think about like the men this season? Like, what do you think about I feel like I remember you saying something about Daniel one time.
So yeah, there's Daniel, then there's Lawrence. So for all those Lawrence Hive folks, it was a big surprise to see him this season, right? Like there was prior to the season, there was a lot of talk about him no longer being a part of the show. I like how their PR managed that because it was a really huge shock to even see him.
Well, you know how they managed it, right? They didn't tell the people recording. He wasn't on the call sheet either. So like the people who like only like he was talking about like how even when he came to record for that first day, it was like a homecoming because no one knew he was coming.
Wow.
So like it was like they kept the secret from everybody.
That's dope. Yeah, that's
so everyone was
dope.
so excited to see him because I think everyone really thought like, oh man.
Yeah, that's dope that they did that.
Yeah, so he said it was cool.
So who are the other men on the show? We got Daniel, we got Lawrence, we got. Can I just real quick? I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite characters on the show.
Oh God, who's that?
Thug Yoda.
Who the freak?
Do you remember Thug Yoda?
No.
Thug Yoda. He only had one episode this season. Thug Yoda was the guy who he doesn't pronounce. He's a blood. Yeah, he doesn't pronounce his C's. And
yeah,
so
I do remember him.
But he's also very, very wise, and so he was in season 1 and season 2.
Okay, I'm looking at a clip of him now. Yeah,
right. So he's hilarious to me, and I love how he represents like this duality between like both a gangster and this really ultra wise like weird guy who actually has decent advice sometimes.
Takes care of his child very well. Like he's a good parent.
He's just his entire being and like
he's your favorite. So he's your favorite character.
The concept of him is just hilarious to me because I also think there's I like what he represents in both like obviously like so he's part of a gang, like maybe he had some like rough experiences, but he also he's funny and he's also wise. and he's really strange.
I think my favorite character is it's either Chad. Okay, so I really like Kelly.
Oh no, Chad. Oh
I
my
really like
gosh.
Kelly.
Freaking
like,
Chad.
Chad is like the perfect example of just like a fuck boy.
Yes,
and like I just really like the amazing job they did on that.
Yeah,
like,
Lawrence's main man. Yeah, he is. There's not a black man in America that doesn't know a Chad.
Like
he
darn near like cheated on his fiance.
That is
during like his bachelor party,
right?
But then he's still mad at her, but he's still clearly in love with her. But like, I don't care. I ain't think about her.
Right?
I ain't think about her. And he was like, because Issa's a cheater. He said, you cheated on your fiance. He said, so? I was like, what? She ain't have to leave me though. I apologize. What more did she want? I'm like, what the? Are you kidding me? And you're just like, right, true. Yeah.
He is all masculinity in denial, and it's so extreme.
He can't even acknowledge his feelings.
I know, like he doesn't have any, like right.
No, he has so many. He just can't express
Yes,
them.
exactly. Well, what I'm saying is he doesn't say that he has any. He just can't. And I think there's. I swear, man, that is like one generalization like I will absolutely make. There's not a black man in America that doesn't know a Chad.
Yeah, but Kelly's also one of my favorites because she's from Philly, just in case y'all didn't know.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
All right, we got it.
All right, yeah. I know Queens is so amazing.
Oh, it is.
Well.
Kelly's all right.
No.
She's hilarious. She's hilarious. She really is.
Yeah.
Who's funnier, Kelly or Chad? Because they both have a similar role in their friend groups. By the way, I do want to talk a little bit about the Coachella episode.
Hold on, I gotta think about it though. I'm still thinking. Wait, don't go there yet.
Okay.
Darn it, I don't know.
I know, it's hard.
Kelly, maybe?
You see more of Kelly. We don't see Chad as much.
Yeah, I think Kelly. I also just stand for her because she like writes and directs and do all that stuff. So I just like her as a person. So I probably just like her more.
One thing I do really love about the show is that they bring in people, right, that otherwise wouldn't be on HBO. Like Kid Fury was in an episode either this season or last.
What? When?
Yeah, he was in a scene. I
remember Dustin was in a scene.
Dustin who?
Dustin from Friends. What's the name of it? It's a podcast, but it's
Dustin from Friends. I don't remember.
It's not from Friends, the TV show. It's from the podcast.
I'm not sure. But yeah, she brings in a whole bunch of people. Like even
Friend Zone. From Friend Zone.
From
Dustin
Friend Zone?
from Friend Zone. I don't remember Kid Fury. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he was on there. And then there's right? Then there's Nathan.
We can hear your furious typing.
Yeah, I'm definitely typing. What is Nathan's actual name?
Who's Nathan?
Woke Bay. Nathan who ghosts Issa.
Oh, that's crazy.
Issa.
I already done got rid of him in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Kendrick Sampson. That's right.
I just remember him from How to Get Away with Murder.
Yeah. But yeah, like he's in the show, So I don't know. Like I just like how she brings in other people and onto her shows that are a part of are like really unapologetically black and also
that term.
I know. Don't you love that term? Like they're part of like mainstream black culture, but they're also like activists in their own right. And I include both Kendrick and Kid Fury in that. And so I just like seeing them on the big screen in these shows. Like that representation really, really matters. And I think part of the reason why the show's doing so well is because of that. But also it speaks to these things, these dynamics about the black millennial that don't often get their shine and attention.
Well, what did you want to talk about with the Coachella one?
The Coachella episode I thought was hilarious. The first part of the Coachella episode, and particularly, well, actually, it just is Coachella, and then like the next episode, it's just that one part, and then the next episode is they're back home, right? So at the Coachella episode, when everyone gets drunk and high and they come back to the house and things are a mess, Issa ran off with Nathan, and so she doesn't really like know what happened to them or what's going on, just that something wasn't right, and so she had to get back to them. She finds out a little bit later after her and Nathan had gone off. Her and Nathan had gone off. So, but when she comes in, I think you see like everyone's roles in the friend group come out. Like Issa automatically feels guilty for like not being there to save them from themselves. Molly is furiously typing nothing on her computer.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
And Kelly is like raging out at the man. And
yeah, but think about how Tiffany, like she's pregnant at Coachella, which sounds awful, but she took the time to do that because she knew that she wanted it to be the whole friend group, and they couldn't offer to throw her a baby shower. Like, can you imagine? I don't know, never been pregnant, but like I remember my pregnant friends being tired. They went to Coachella where there's no indoor plumbing, out all day in the heat. She is like hella pregnant, dealing with like, and she the only sober one, which I'm sure is annoying. And she just like, oh, okay, let me just save her spots. Let me just make sure everything's okay. That had to be annoying. And they couldn't offer to throw her a baby shower. Yeah.
I mean, she definitely sacrificed quite a bit. And then there's to be there. And then there's that episode when Issa goes into the Quickie Mart at the gas station.
Quickie Mart. This ain't the Simpsons. 7-Eleven.
I don't know why I thought about that. Was it a 7-Eleven?
Yeah, it was a 7-Eleven, I feel like.
It was some sort of like...
Quickie Mart is on the Simpsons. There's no such thing as even as...
I was like, where did I even get that from? Anyway, she goes to some sort of like convenience gas station, 7-Eleven type of store. It might have actually been... Maybe it was a 7-Eleven. I don't know. Anyway, and they're... But they end up talking about... Issa and Tiffany actually end up talking about... their relationship and how things are changing. And I think, even Tiffany at that point is, Issa's like, we're going to remain friends. And Tiffany's like, I really hope so.
I just really don't think babies should separate friends. Or maybe that's just me using my experience. But that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's more awesome than like seeing one of your amazing friends create like an amazing little person? Just being like, hey, we about to be like best friends. You can tell me stuff you don't tell your mom. It's cool. Like we cool. We can just be cool.
So do you have any friends that you feel like you wish you could see more often?
I wish I could see all my friends more often. I don't see any of my friends enough.
There you go. Right. And
like not one.
Well, that probably comes even harder, right? When you have a kid. That's all.
No, like one of my friends, when she had her baby, I was living in Nashville and I still saw her as much. Honestly, I might have saw her more because I wanted to be around the baby constantly. So that didn't really do anything. Like I don't see any of my friends because we all of us, the big chunk, we met in undergrad and then we scattered. So I don't get to see them as much because we're all in different places. And then the ones I met in my doctoral program, half of them are in internship. Only one... Thank goodness one of them is with me from my like grad school crew is here. And I'm trying to convince her not to leave me right now. So like, cause it's like everyone's going a different path with education. Like we'll start in a different area, but then you leave. And I think that's why I feel like certain things shouldn't take away from friendship. Cause it used to be like, okay, I see my friends every single day in the caf. We used to talk every single day, but I can talk to my friends once a week or every 2 weeks. And they're not bugging about it. We just pick up where we left off because we all got stuff. Like they got children. I'm in school. My dissertation is my child. They don't let me being married separate from anything like that because I'm married and no one else is married. So it's just like you kind of gotta grow up.
Well, yeah, and, I think you see all of these characters in different phases of their own growth.
Aren't they our age though? They're our age, right?
I believe so. Right, they're like, yeah, they are, and but they're in different aspects of their own development. I think depending on what's happening, like you can, I don't know. Like
age ain't nothing but a number. It doesn't really come up with when it comes to like developmental stuff, because there are 40-year-olds who have the thought processes of like teens, right? So like age is a number, but you're right, it's more so where their mindset is. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and clearly like Issa is in a different place from Tiffany, who is in a different place from Kelly, who's in a different place from Molly, right?
Yeah, that's what makes the show so interesting.
It does. Let me just ask you this real quick. What did you? Because this is like the biggest thing in the show still, I imagine.
Okay.
So we're gonna do this really quickly, just as we wrap up. Like, what do you think about Issa and Lawrence?
Oh, like if they should get back together?
Just in general, just general thoughts about their relationship, where they are, and
I think they're at where they're supposed to be.
You think they should have broken up?
Yeah, she cheated on him. So like, you don't deserve him. But let me say this: there was one time in the episode where she said that he was like collecting unemployment checks for 3 years. Like, so in my mind, like, yeah, you cheat on him, and that's ridiculous. Like, there's no reason he shouldn't. If he could trust you, that's what's up. But if he doesn't, I mean, when she was like mourning and stuff, I was like, girl, that's your fault. That's your fault. But 3 years on the couch, you wouldn't have even made it. You would have been like, well, there's no reason for me to cheat on you because I broke up with you 2 years ago because you weren't getting it together. So I feel like they are where they need to be. I don't think they'll ever really be friends because I don't really think you need to be friends with somebody you boned. That's just my opinion. Well,
if you're in a monogamous relationship, right, and you have that, like, you have those agreements with your partner, if you don't want to be with that partner anymore, then obviously you should pursue something that is going to make you happy and make you feel fulfilled and make you feel like your relationship is going in a positive direction.
Yeah, they both had their faults, but she cheated on him, so she does not deserve him.
Yeah, so that's where the line stops for you. Like she cheated, and so that's it. And period.
Well, and that's just my opinion, because some people are able to, they have the strength and the wherewithal to get past that, right?
Yeah.
But like, if you got it from, what was that, the hip hop episode? What was it your cousin was like? You can tell she's been hurt before. Like that. Some people have the ability to do that. I don't. So if I got cheated on, it's like, well, I mean, I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning like if you out with somebody else, and I'm like very independent in my relationship, so I'm not with, my husband on time. So if I can't trust you to be by yourself, then it's like, it's kind of like I can't do it. But some people can.
Right. And I'm not suggesting that or what to be done around the cheating necessarily. I guess like I was just thinking more about like how you thought about how they became so emotionally and physically distant from each other, and how Issa ended up cheating, how Lawrence ended up like basically like being on the couch, allowing Issa to take care of him for that long, the resentment that was built up between them, Lawrence feeling under-supported, Issa feeling like she was taking on way too much.
That was her fault too, though, because she never expressed that. She just kept doing it. Like, how am I supposed to know this is a problem when you don't tell me it's a problem?
Well, I think that's like the hard line to walk, right? Like, you want to support somebody you love, but you also don't want to like get your needs met, i.e. like complain when things are like not going well, and speak up about like, hey, like I need a little bit more from you, or hey, like I need some help from you in this way. So I think to some degree like it is on Issa to say like this isn't working for me a little bit sooner, so that level of resentment doesn't build up. And I think it's also on Lawrence to be self-aware enough to know that he's putting that kind of pressure on his partner to just tolerate things that are uncomfortable to her. So this was good. We ended up talking just about Insecure,
which is exactly what you wanted.
I wouldn't say it's what I wanted, but it's definitely what ended up happening. And
we are going to do a black sitcom episode.
Please. We talked a little bit about black sitcoms in the beginning.
No.
All right. So you guys have been great. Thank you so much for supporting us. This is our first season. This is the final episode of this season, episode 14. We're going to be on a 2 to 3 week break. And we look forward to season 2. In the meantime, we're going to collect some topic ideas. We're going to do our homework to understand what you guys enjoyed or want to hear more about. We're going to have some more intellectual conversations and debates, and some education about psychology and mental health in our next season. And we also want to do this too and just kind of shoot the breeze about some things that we like to talk about, like music and TV, and things that are uniquely for us and by us. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you all so much, and we'll be back in a few weeks. In the meantime, please do visit our website, theblackandconscious.com. Hit that Ask Us button. Leave us some questions. We'll be happy to do another bonus Ask Us episode. Visit our Instagram. We'll still be posting every single day, all the time. Some really cool things. So don't miss out.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you next season.
Take care.